Lunchtime Conversations. I'm Sonovia, and I'm here with Sanaa and Samara, and we are so excited to dive into today's show. We are so thankful for all the comments about episode number one when we spoke about self assuredness and how it has helped to equip so many people to take on a new confidence about who they are, who they intend to be, and how to be less bothered by some of the things that people say that could otherwise make you doubt yourself and stop you from moving forward into being all that you can be. So, episode one was phenomenal, and here we go today, and we will be talking about the things that movies and TV shows get wrong about teenagers, right? And so I'm excited about that. And we want now also for you to remember that you're a part of this. So as you gather your group together, your girlfriends or your classmates, the teacher, your teacher, you may even be doing this at youth group, taking notes so that you can take it to youth group. And the topic, you guys can actually voice note, text, video your comments, opinions, your thoughts, and your rants. You may have a rant about the topic, something that really has been a pet peeve for you, and you can send that to us via our WhatsApp group, and we're going to have that information at SheEmpowHers on Facebook, as well as SheEmpowHers website. And you can also find it at theclearsphere.com at Clearwaters Radio. And the WhatsApp number is, of course, 242-428-7310. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we're going to play your opinions during the show. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into this. As I said, we have Sanaa. Sanaa is the Executive Director and the Director of Training of SheEmpowHers nonprofit organization. Sanaa is, and Samara is an actual member of SheEmpowHers, and I get to be the Director of Media and Communications. And this is all about empowering young women, and of course this is from age 7 all the way to 23, but the Lunchtime Conversations, we are going to focus on
age 14 to 18.
All right, so I want Sanaa to go ahead and tell us more about today's topic, and we're excited to bring our thoughts to the forefront. And if you disagree, we want to know. If you agree, we want to know. Now, why this topic in particular, Sanaa?
So I just want to ask you guys, when was the last time you've watched movie or TV show that talked about teenagers or like that was surrounding teenagers?
Pretty recently.
Yeah.
Pretty recently. Like, we noticed that in media, we see a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, they focus on teenagers, but is that actually what's happening, like, in society, like, in current today? Like, tell me, what was the last, like, something that revolved around teenagers or the lives of teenagers?
So the lesson that I watched was a Darman video where he was talking about high schoolers and how they had, like, abusive parents and stuff. And so the way that he displayed high school was where they went to high school. You had the cheerleaders wearing their cheer uniform every single day. You had the jocks with their jackets. And then you had that one dorky kid who didn't fit in with anyone. And so he felt out of place.
Yeah, okay. So we see that in movies and TV shows, we see a lot of, what's the word? Cliques, all right? So that's one aspect of it that I feel like kind of gets wrong about high school, you know? I remember in high school, I remember when I was younger, I used to watch different TV shows and movies. We got like Mean Girls. I used to watch, it was High School Musical we talked about. And then there's this there was this one TV show, it was an animated show called 16, right? And it was about teenagers when they were 16, and it was just them like hanging out at the mall. There was like skateboarding. They were just like, it was a lot of different things that they were doing. But when I turned 16, that's what I was expecting, and it was kind of a shift of perspective, you know, at that age, because it wasn't everything that I kind of dreamed of, you know, or that media portrays. So it's kind of that unrealistic standard. So starting off what you talked about when you talked about cliques, because you're currently in high school,
Right.
all right? You're currently, dealing with friends and friendship groups. Was it all that you thought of, like when it came to cliques? As clicky, I guess, as clicky as, let's think about Mean Girls, because that's one of the most clicky movies I could think of.
So when it came to cliques, I thought it would be like different people separated. And so when I was going to high school, I was trying to figure out which clique would I fit into. But when I went there, I found out that there was really, truly no clique. I already had my friends from junior high school. And so we just kind of mixed. Like, I was kind of a mixture of a lot of different groups, you know? And so I was kind of surprised to say there weren't really any cliques there. Like, that's like particularly like a mean girl group, a jock group, sporty group, like nothing like that. So that kind of surprised me.
So I imagine maybe things are changing, or could it be your particular school environment? Maybe it fostered that kind of acceptance, or didn't do things to help people feel comfortable in isolating other people. Maybe that's a part of it, because when I reflect on high school, it was not so much cliques, because cliques are kind of like they put a door there, no entry,
Yes.
right? But there were groups, and there were the popular and the not so popular, and we had that as well. But a funny thing about me, I was always the person who was considered popular because of the things that I was involved with. I was in the dance world, so I was in pageants and won pageants, talented teen and all that stuff. But at school, I was always the person who wanted to talk with the person who was most quiet, who I felt a little bit left out, unseen. I would go, I don't know what it was, I would go, hey, what's up? Like, I guess I kind of wanted everybody to feel seen and accepted, so I was always anti-clique. Yeah, so if I had to rant about something today, it would be cliques, right? Like, and then you talk about what is different. I found that when movies get wrong about teens, right? I think that almost every movie I watch about teens is always about dating. It's always about someone in love, and normally getting ready to or doing the not ideal thing or the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So is that a thing? Like, are they getting that right or wrong? Are most people listening to this show right now, Lunchtime Conversations, between the ages of 14 to 18, is one of the biggest things still for them that movies are portraying? Are they all about love, dating, and no? So they're getting that wrong.
Yes.
All right. So what are our teens about today?
Things that I see, most of them are either into their academics, or they're more into just social. Yes, some are actually into the academics. Some of them actually just like to hang out with their friends. They just like to read their books, study together, or they're just up and down playing on the basketball court, like they hang out with their friends. So either you're there academically or socially.
Wow.
I don't really see anyone dating and going all around like that.
I am in shock. I am in shock.
Really? I know for me, like, the high school scene, there was, some of those who did, go out and they dated. But as you, like, mentioned, one thing that I noticed is, like, it was all about the love. Like, you don't realize that you're still in high school, so you have, like, your little friends and your little love boyfriend, girlfriend on the side, but you know that academics was first, all right? Or you focused more on that. Like, it wasn't the entire movie, It wasn't that's not your entire life. And I feel like that's something that, again, movies get wrong about teenagers. You watch that movie or you watch that TV show, like, and that TV show is like 6 seasons of them dating and breaking up.
Right.
Where's the lessons? Where's the homework? Where is the academics? Like, I think that's something that for those TV shows, that's like the main focus, but it's taking away from what's actually, we have to focus on, or we need to focus on in high school. Alright, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. We talked about the cliques and like the love aspect of it. Alright, what about like those unrealistic standards? Because that actually reminded me of a movie.
Yeah.
We Grease. Alright, we talked about Grease, and it was a movie about love. Alright, as well as cliques.
Yeah.
Alright, loving despite being in cliques and going through a lot of different things. Like they went through a lot during that movie when it came to like love and like breaking out of those like barriers. And you look at the characters, you look at what they're doing in their life, like they're outside, they're like all hours of the night,
Yeah.
and they're
right.
doing everything except for being in high school. Alright, so you think about when you go into high school, you're going into high school at 14 years old. Alright, that's the first year of high school. So you going into high school at 14 is a lot different than these movies who are being betrayed by, I think John Travolta, they would have been in their 20s or their 30s.
Late 20s.
Late 20s, 30s. So there's that like unrealistic standard of those movies or of those TV shows. So how do you feel like not only beauty standards but like maturity? Like how do you feel now when you're like seeing those things from those movies and those TV shows? Like how do you feel if you're ready to, you know, or how do you know if you're ready to do those things, you know, ready to go out all the hours of the night? How do you know you're mature enough to handle those things when it comes to love and outside or like those society pressures?
Well, for me, what I think is that the mere fact that they focus on it, it makes me focus on it. So I'm thinking, even as a teenager, right? It looks fun to have someone you're dating, or I'm watching a program on television and the girl is writing notes. So what am I gonna do when I get to school? I'm gonna think, okay, that's my crush. Let's send a note. And let's put it out there. I sent my note in high school, and he showed it to all of his friends. Yes, he did. And I'm not gonna say what the word is, but there was a word I put in this very emotional letter expressing myself, and I spelled a word wrong in the letter. And they noticed.
They pointed it out.
They pointed it out. Oh, how embarrassing. But I'm saying that everything that I was watching on television and that is still, I think, cultivated into our movies and television programs about love, it still exists, but I feel like it leads the conversation for the high schoolers. So you come into high school and you come into in 7th grade and your hair's still one plait over here, one plait over there. Like you don't know anything but anything just yet. And lunchtime you run in. You don't know about walking yet. You run everywhere you have to go, right? And then now the conversation turns, like the students who are exposed to certain movies, and now we have Netflix and all this stuff. So certain people, they get to watch certain things, and now they're talking about it. And so now, little happy-go-lucky me, now I'm watching it, and everybody's talking about who they're dating, who broke up with who doesn't like who. So I think it almost kind of creates the conversation and shapes and formulates who we kind of become, the persona that we take on. Yeah. And so movies and television have a huge part to play.
Yeah.
But who is going to be the person who's going to say, stop and regulate movie watching for their does your mom or your parents regulate your television watching or movie watching?
Not really, honestly, because they trust me enough not to watch foolishness. So, not really.
Not really.
So how do you deal with that? Because now this isn't just what the movies and the TV shows portray, but now it's your friends who are watching it who may feel that, or who may encourage you or discourage you to do certain things. So how do you feel about that society pressures, and how would you deal with it?
I feel like it's a lot much because I've seen people they really want to fit in with like how TV displays certain things. Like they believe like that's actually how it's supposed to be. So I've seen like a girl where she like chased after a few dudes because she wanted to be a part of that. Like how every teen movie has like a love story, like how you guys said. And so like I seen people, they try to chase behind people because they really want to fit in with the movie. They want to do what the movie says. They want to have their happily ever after, but they don't focus on what really matters, like the academics, getting right with people, and not just like falling behind other people.
You know what else I think I started to see with Netflix, right? As Netflix became more popular and accessible, I felt like there were a lot of teen movies that dealt with depression. Like something I never knew about when I was growing up is what they call cutting. Okay, guys, so I'm taking you to the deep end of the pool. And for some of you who are listening, this may be uncomfortable for you at this moment. You may have tried it, thought about it. You may know someone who may have attempted cutting in some form because they were trying to deal with some trial or something, or even imitating something that they saw on a television program or a movie, that led them to actually cut themselves with razors or whatever methods that was. But I feel like I didn't know anything about this thing. Movies and TV introduced this to me. And so one time I was in a group, we were in a dance group, and eventually I found out that one of the young ladies in the group, she actually engaged in cutting. And it was so sad, and because I almost felt helpless to help her, but she was doing so because she was going through issues at home, so overwhelming that she didn't know what to do. And so when we did talk about it, she said she was doing it because she needed to feel something. She needed to feel relief, or she was probably numbing herself emotionally. And so I don't understand all of it, but I sincerely believe that movies introduced that to her as a method to try to promise her some kind of relief, because we didn't know anything about that. Do you know about that type of stuff, like people cutting with razors and all that? It's an actual thing, and it is portrayed. But again, you kind of monitor what you watch. But I find like it's very prevalent to me, like almost like an everyday thing. It's have you seen it in any movies?
Yeah, so that also, so I remember, so for me it was kind of, I guess, coming into when I was like younger, it was, again, like you had some societal pressures, some like friendship pressures, and then you will see like you're being dictated by the movies and the TV shows. So for me, I know that when I didn't give in to like some pressures that I was facing from friends or from like my peers, you start to feel like things that they talk about on the TV show. So you'll be like, okay, I'm not feeling myself, so maybe I am feeling anxious or having some forms of anxiety. But then again, I've learned as I got older that that's not good, because now I'm self-diagnosing myself based off what I've seen of the movies and the TV shows. So you try not to cling what you see, like, you know, in movies and TV shows. And then we've had, like growing up, I've had, what is it, the TV show 13 Reasons Why. Now that is a TV show that I feel like was a very, again, it was a high school TV show, but it dealt with a lot of deep and dark things that I'm not saying that students may not go through, but it was a lot. You had like suicide, you had the cutting, you had the dark, depressive images and themes that I'm not saying that, again, like teenagers don't go through, but you are exposing more ideas into the youth that maybe they never thought of before. All right. So again, like even that TV show was a lot.
Can I piggyback off that? Or you have a point you want to make on that? Because
Um,
I've heard about it. I probably only watched like previews. But you said that what that show did was introduce in a entertainment, public way the dark issues that teens face or some teens face, right? And first of all, we have to just recognize that that's a reality. Some people are facing abuse. I mean, even from parents, on all levels. And some people, when they leave the school environment, we don't want to imagine some of the things that they go home to. It would be unbelievable. So, like you said, you're not denying that these people did face these dark realities. But a program, a movie, and a TV program, what it did was it had the conversation, just looking at the conversation and saying, yeah, well, this is what it is, and I'm going to expose it, and pay me money because I'm telling you someone's secret. It didn't come from like what SheEmpowHers does. It didn't say, hey, let's talk.
No, yeah.
We understand that you are exposed to some things, but like SheEmpowHers deals with your mental health. It deals with your confidence, so that the things that were driving you to get into those dark spaces, or it even just gives you someone to talk to if you feel locked up in a dark situation that you live there. What are you gonna do? So you have opportunities to visit the dark places, but with a mentor who is there to love you and empower you, right? As opposed to movies, Hollywood, where it's about the dollar. It's about showing you the most dramatic issues people go through with no care and very careless.
Yes.
And so I even want to encourage somebody who's listening, if you have experienced some abusive situation and see it taken lightly, there are places and people that are available. SheEmpowHers is one of them. The nonprofit organization for youth empowerment is here to help you navigate those things that movies and television programs have almost tried to dictate to you how you are to respond, and it's almost always to make you worse, to hurt you, or to harm you. So this is something we need to continue, even as mentors.
Yeah, and again, like I said, like that TV show, like from that like TV show perspective, like it comes from the avenue of, oh, we are trying to make you aware of things that happen in society, but they don't realize, like back to back to back, it more desensitizes you to it. All right, it makes you something that's supposed to be a horror, because that is, like, you see it from a horror movie aspect, or it should be viewed as that. It shouldn't be viewed as something that is normal or regular. All right, again, those things should not be regular. If something like that is occurring, like that abuse or those dark themes, those are something that should be talked about with a mentor or a therapist. All right, somebody who is working with you to take you out of that dark place.
Yes.
All right, those are not things that you should take into your own hands or into the hands of friends or peers who do not have the wisdom or the actual, who went to school to help you with it.
Yeah.
What I'm basically getting at.
Yeah.
Again, from like my experience, like even like this TV show came out, I don't remember if it was in high school or if it was in college, but I dealt with a friend in school who cut herself. All right. Now, was it an open topic, or was it something that should have been talked more with a therapist? I believe so, but it was, to me, it felt like more of a hostage situation. It wasn't a friendship that I feel like I should have kept going as long as possible. But again, it came more from the aspect of she was dealing with some mental issues, and you feel like you want to be there to help them. But again, I'm someone, we're the same age. I'm helping you, I'm pouring, my energy, my soul into helping you become better. And when my mental health is coming down and yours is coming up, there's no one helping me. All right, I'm not the person who should be helping you. All right, it should be a therapist. So when I try to distance myself from that situation, it's them going back to doing what they weren't supposed to do in the first place. So again, I was put into a role that I shouldn't have been in, all right? And now as I'm an adult, you realize that, all right? So again, if you have a friend who is dealing with something, convince them or try to let them get help, like professional help, all right? Don't try to take something like that into your own hand, because again, that's going to affect you more than you even realize it, or something that you won't realize it until you get to my age.
Right, in hindsight.
In hindsight.
So, Samara, I feel like the BFF approach is why we sometimes don't look beyond our friends to get help.
Yes.
Or to come into a group. And so, what do you think? Do you feel like is the whole, and that's another thing that was painted in movies, you know, the BFF, it was so popular till we got Charms, and there was a whole like 10 years of BFF, everything from t-shirts to teddy bears. We made some money off best friends for life. And so do you think that that concept of my friends are there for me is a real thing that keeps people kind of like not going where they need to go to get help, and they really trust their friends to guide them through life situations?
So, in grade 10, so in grade 10 there was this girl who I knew, and she was mentally slow, and her brother used to bully her for her condition. And so she went to get some help from our guidance counselors, but they didn't really help her. If so, they kind of made her feel worse about it. So really her friends, me and my other friends, we were like the only people she actually could go to for help, and we tried to lift her up and help her out. And she did threaten to harm herself on campus one day, and then she went missing, so that was a whole thing. So I would say that some people, depending on how the adults deal with the situation, like if they have experience with getting hurt, then they might go to their friends. And some do it as a, they do it first, like they go to their friends, and like the friends will try to get them help. But if the adults aren't really trying to help, then they will stick with their friends.
I see. And so again, we understand why we need SheEmpowHers. We need the place where now, if that same friend was in your sphere, you could say, hey, come with me, sign up for SheEmpowHers. Let's go. We're gonna learn how to get our driver's license. We're gonna learn what's pathways we can have for our careers, for college. We're gonna learn about how to style ourselves, how to dine, etiquette. Like, let's allow ourselves to explore who we could be with people who actually care, right? And so, again, for anybody else out there, also teachers, guidance counselors, you are overwhelmed by how many issues you're probably dealing with our schools, our kids in school, on the streets, in community. Things have changed, and you probably have so much going on. Then you have your life. I just want to encourage you that take a breather coming into this year and allow yourself to revisit the why. You could save a life just by taking time to hear the kid out, just by not shrugging them on the side and thinking they're making up a story. I just want to invite you to maybe just take that moment to call a parent or to encourage them to SheEmpowHers. And so again, remember, we have that WhatsApp number 242-428-7310. What do you think about this? Do you find that you can find help with your teacher, your mentor, your guidance counselor, your youth group, your mom, your dad, your aunts? Or is it your friends for you? Is that the only place you have to turn to? Let us know what that has been like for you. So what do we want to encourage people about this? Like, I'm thinking that what we are realizing is that movies and television programs can actually get it wrong.
Yes.
Because it was a lot about love, relationships, and then the dark side of living. Whereas from Samara came on, she said, hey, there's more. There's some of us, a lot of us, who are into our academics. There are a lot of us who don't want to ingest garbage, garbage television,
Yeah.
right?
Who don't want to ingest that, those standards, or maybe those peer pressure, those problems, as well as the negative sides that we've talked about of TV shows, all right? So again, a lot of this can affect a young person's perspective, okay? Or that's what we've come to a realization, all right? So we're trying to think more about what we take in, I guess, when it comes to movies and TV shows, and maybe some things that we can change. Like, let's change the narrative, all right? Let's change that idea of movies and TV shows are like this. So let's live like how the movies or the TV shows show that high school should be, or maybe should look like. Maybe we should say, hey, these Netflix, these Hulus, these Amazon Primes, this billion-dollar company that's trying to force an idealistic image down our throat, maybe this isn't what we should be ingesting, or maybe we should change what they put out, all right? Because again, I'm just saying, they wouldn't make money if you don't watch it, all right? Or they make money based off what people want to see, okay? So if you don't believe in what is being put out today, maybe make your own.
Hey,
We need more Bahamian filmmakers, Bahamian producers.
I love that.
Maybe let's look at changing the narrative in that regard, all right? I want to see more Bahamian high school TV shows, Bahamian high school skits.
That's exciting. Samara, she's so composed.
She is.
I like that idea. That time I'm like, yeah.
So we can push the perspective, or push the narrative, change the narrative of what we see today.
Listen, I think that's a word from heaven. I think that's a word from heaven. More TV programs produced by Bahamians, not just Bahamians, our young Bahamians. Like, guys, y'all don't leave me out now. Cast me in the, I could be a part, I could play a part, Everybody can be 25 and 18 on the program, right? You need someone to be 30. Okay, but that is so powerful. I love that you would have put that challenge out there. And guess, like I said, Sanaa Gardiner, you remember where you heard it, right here at Lunchtime Conversations. She is the executive director for SheEmpowHers. The whole concept came from her vision after her own life. She had wonderful women, mom, grandmom, aunts, mentors along the way, that she was like, wow, these were my resources to build me. And she decided, I want to pay it forward. And this program exceeds the categories of training that I've seen anywhere else. And so that mind that she would say, listen, not only am I willing to help you, to be here to empower you, I believe in you enough that I believe you can make the television programs. I love it. God, Father, you know how to do this thing. So now that you've heard this, hey, send us a WhatsApp on that too. Do you think it's possible? Do you think anybody would listen, or do you think we're still stuck in that space where they'll be like, Bahamian TV show, nobody's checking for that, right? But I think it's possible. I love that. I love that. And then we could rewrite the narrative, right, Samara? We could let them know that, hey, academics first. Like my aunt used to tell my cuz when she was growing up, boys and books don't mix. Now, I don't know if that's true for anybody, but anyway, so Samara, so they go ahead and close us out for today's show. Samara, if you have, Samara, if you have any final comments, and then Sanaa will close us out and let us know how we could learn more about SheEmpowHers, about social, where to find us, and all the beautiful things.
So I strongly believe that you should not believe everything that you see on TV, as other people say, because as we just talked about, it gets a lot of things wrong. Like I said, we're into academics. We love our books. It also can harm people, as Ms. Gardiner said. You said 13 Reasons?
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons Why. I've never seen the show.
Please
but
don't
that,
go look for that.
Never seen it, but it sounds
Oh,
horrible.
then that's why we're sending them to look for it, right? Sorry.
So I believe that you shouldn't believe everything you see on TV for that same reason, because it can actually make you very curious, as Ms. Williams just said. It might make you want to start doing some things that you shouldn't be doing, because you might say, oh, it looks like it works, it looks cool, but when you actually try it, it doesn't actually work, and it makes you feel worse about yourself. And it may not seem like it's making you worse like in the moment, but in the long run, it could actually like seriously hurt you.
Wow, that is a powerful point. You may try it in the moment. If you do not heed the warning that the movies are really, for the most part, in it for the money, and then you try it, and it seems okay for the moment, but in the long run, it harms you. Oh my, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Samara. Important point to remember, guys. Sanaa?
I love that conclusion, and like Ms. Williams said and Samara said, again, these are from billion-dollar companies that are trying to push a certain narrative or push a certain perspective, okay? We believe that the narrative can be changed, and we can voice our opinions and our thoughts on what's really going on in high school. Again, if you are going through any of the things that we talked about today, reach out, all right? Reach out to someone, a trusted adult, all right? A trusted community member, church member, all right? If you need help, or reach out to someone here, all right? We have the resources to help you if you are going through certain things, okay? If you are interested in joining SheEmpower, go to SheEmpowHerNow.com or check us out on Facebook at SheEmpowHers. We have different events going on for different ages. So again, if you are 7 to 13, we have different math and literacy activities and groups. You can join if you're interested in more of the educational aspect. We have tutoring as well. So we have tutoring through all ages.
Whoa.
Okay, if you need educational help, we have tutoring. If you are looking for a friend and a mentor, ages 14 to 23 as well, all right? If you need somebody to talk to, all right, reach out, we are here. Again, ages 14 to 18. If you are you need someone to help guide you through what this thing is we call life, okay? We have resources and mentors to help with driver's license, help through academic coaching, trying to get into college, career counseling. If you are looking to be a better public speaker, negotiator, if you are looking at being a business person, things all around you to make you you, all right? Not to make you a different person, to make you the better version or the best version that you are, all right? So we have different cohorts. So our registration closes the end of January 28th, I believe. So if you're interested in joining our cohort, it ends January, I said 28th?
28th, I think you said?
I believe I said January 28th.
I want to get that website. Because the registration form is on the website. It's so easy. You just get on there. It's there. Put in your information, and you'll get. There'll be a review, and you'll know as soon as possible. So you want to go to SheEmpowHer. That's SheEmpowHer.com. SheEmpowHer.com. That's where you want to go. And then Facebook is SheEmpowHer Now. Or just SheEmpowHers?
SheEmpowHers.
Okay. So, we're going to put all these links below the show. You're going to find them on the clearsphere.com/ClearWatersRadio. And you'll also find it on our Clear Waters Media Network on Facebook, on Instagram. And we're just here to make sure you stay focused, stay motivated, get the encouragement and the empowerment, information, knowledge, guidance, mentorship, care that you need in order to walk into a very bright future. So, without further ado, we're thanking you for tuning in with us today. And remember to send your audios, texts, or videos about your opinion, your thoughts, or your rants. We may take them. We'll see. And we're going to air them on the show. All right? Until the next time, see you later.